Namaste, yogis, and welcome to our theory class number 5. I'm pretty excited about this one. I think the biggest thing that you guys have been asking for in terms of the theory classes is to learn about the chakras. So we're going to dive into that because I want these classes to be a little bit more concise. I am going to do separate theory classes for the chakras. So we're going to do the first 2 chakras in this session, and then we will continue 2 by 2, because although you may think that there are 7 chakras, there are actually 8. So it works out that we can do 2 by 2. So anyways, our first theory class of this chakra series, we're going to talk about the root chakra, the Muladhara, and the sacral chakra, the Svadhisthana. Okay, so perhaps you know the pose in yoga called chakra asana. It's an extension from our bridge pose, and it's when you go into full wheel is what it's called, and that's because chakra actually translates to wheel, and that is because you can think of your chakras as a system of wheels, and in order for everything to run smoothly, these wheels have to be in the same rotation. They have to be in alignment and in balance. So continuing with this analogy, these wheels are constantly spinning, turning, and creating energy, and this vortex almost creates a vacuum, an energetic vacuum that sucks in anything that it comes into contact with, whether that's negative or positive. So that's why they say that your chakras are like, if you have a blockage or something, you're holding you're holding negative emotions that you've come into contact with in that space, and because your wheel is stagnant and it's unable to be spinning, then that negative energy manifests, and sometimes it comes in the form of physical pain or emotional pain, and that's kind of what it comes down to, why we focus on our chakras in yoga and in different healing practices, meditation, Reiki, things like this. So each of our 8 chakras has a different color, sound, function, and purpose that is associated with that. And its sound is a mantra, which we've talked about in our previous theory class. But these are just one word mantra. And by chanting that mantra, you are awakening that chakra, you are giving attention and focus to that chakra. So just how we use our mantras to set our intention, we can use these mantras to set and activate its specific chakra that it's associated with. Lord Shiva, the founder of yoga, as you guys know, actually originally stated that there was 112 chakras, but there's 8 that are the most important, and those are connected to our 8 vital organs that move up the spine. So, as I said, each chakra has its own color, and the colors are easy to remember because it's the rainbow. You start with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Although there is a bit, and then the last one, but we'll talk about that later. There is a bit of confusion, or I guess some people think that your crown chakra is purple and some people think that it is white. It could also be rainbow. That one is a little bit, I guess, up for debate. And I guess it mostly just has to do with you and what you visualize when you're meditating and when you're trying to tap into that crown chakra, which is your connection to all things. So when you are meditating and you're getting into this space of oneness, what is the color that you see? Or is there a color that you see? Then that would be what you would associate with the crown. But I am going off on a tangent because we are supposed to be talking only about the first two chakras, so I digress. We are going to talk about the root chakra and the sacral chakra today. So just as anything else, we're going to start at our base. We're going to start at our foundation, and that is the Muladhara root chakra. Okay, so to help me with the visual representation of the chakras, I'm going to use this painting that I did a couple years ago, just so you can see it a little bit more and you can see the colors there. I don't have the 8th chakra painted on there because, one, I hadn't learned about it yet because I just learned about it when I was in Thailand from my teacher. Okay, so root chakra is this one right here, and it is the color red, as you can see, and you can see that it has 4 petals, 1, 2, 3, 4, and as you move up the chakras you get more and more petals, and those are supposedly representing the exams that you must pass in order to align that chakra. And those can be specific to you and specific to your life. But it's just saying that, for instance, in your first chakra, you have 4 exams that you must pass. You have 4 tests to allow yourself to be truly rooted and grounded and connected to where you come from in your Muladhara base chakra. So the mantra that is associated with this chakra is LAM, L-A-M, but it's actually pronounced Lang, L-A-N-G. So I'm just going to do a quick chant of Lang, and I'm just going to do it one time for our first chakra. Take a deep breath in. Lang. So as I said before, you chant these mantras to kind of give awareness to that chakra. So for instance, if I was feeling really anxious and all over the place, I might just sit and chant Lang for a minute or two to kind of bring myself back to that grounded sensation, if that makes sense. Okay, and your Muladhara, your root chakra, is located at the base of your spine, at your coccyx or your tailbone. So when you're in a seated position, in a meditative position, that is where your foundation is right at that root chakra. So when I'm meditating or doing a class on the Muladhara, for instance, I like to do a lot of seated positions and then visualize roots sprouting down from that place, from your tailbone, and going deep, deep into the earth, deep into the soil, all the way down to the core of the earth where that magma and that lava is, and that heat and that fire and that energy, and then tapping into that with your roots, and then visualize it coming up the spine to your Muladhara and then all the way up. But that's just what I do, so maybe give it a try, and while you're doing that, be chanting your Lang, 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 and see how you feel. Okay, as I've mentioned, the root chakra has a lot to do with your roots, obviously, your base, your family, where you came from, feeling grounded. And in that is security. That is probably the main thing that this chakra focuses on is feeling secure, and that can be with material things like finances, having a home, but also just secure in yourself, secure in your body, secure in your mind. And that's why when you're imbalanced, you feel things like anxiety, you feel fatigued, there's certain associations with anemia. If you are feeling out of balance in your root chakra, the things that you can do to bring that balance and that alignment are, like I said, meditating with the chant Lung, and having that visual representation, and bringing more things that are red into your life, into your diet. So eating red things like strawberries, apples, fresh red fruit. Also using red oils like sandalwood or rose. And then also you can use red stones, red gemstones, like garnet, which is my birthstone. And you can even just wear red. Sometimes the things that we wear can help us feel better. You know, that the saying, look good, feel good, that can come into play with your chakras as well. So if you are feeling a little ungrounded and you want to wear something that is a deep red that just reminds you of that sensation that you can get when you're meditating and visualizing, it can bring you back to that sensation just by wearing that and feeling that. So it's just a little tidbit. Okay, so our next chakra that we're going to talk about is the sacral, and this is your Swadhisthana. This is your pleasure center. It is associated with the color orange, and its mantra is VAM, V-A-M, but it's actually pronounced Wang, like W-A-N-G. And yeah, we're gonna do a little exercise today with this one, because we can. So I want you guys to sit in a comfortable seat, close your eyes. You can bring your hands to your heart, or you can bring your hands to where your Swadhisthana is located, which is right underneath your belly button, so like right here. That's where it's located, so if you want to bring your hands there. And I am just going to chant this mantra a few times, so let's close our eyes and just begin by visualizing this color orange, this warm, bright, happy color. Take a deep breath in. Okay, I want you to chant with me 2 times this Wang sound. So let's go together. Here we go. Deep breath in. Wang. Again. Wang. Okay, go ahead and gently open your eyes, come back to the video, and I just want you to take a minute to check in, and be honest with yourself. Did you feel anything? Did any emotions come up? Because with this chakra, with this mantra, with this color orange, the lesson is to allow yourself to feel, that you have the right to feel. You have the right to feel joy, you have the right to feel pleasure, you have the right to feel anger, and you have the right to feel sadness. So anything that comes up, that's good, because that means that you're tapping into that chakra and you're tapping into being more open and allowing those feelings to flow. Okay, so as I had briefly mentioned, this is our pleasure center, our sacral is. So it has to do with our intimacy, and that's with ourself and with others. So if you're not able to be intimate with yourself and be honest and true with yourself and love yourself, both emotionally and physically love yourself, then how can you expect to be able to have that connection with another being? So I mean, a lot of self-love is important for this chakra, for all of our chakras, but I think especially this one. It also has to do with our sensing ability, so that sensation of pleasure, obviously, but also the sensation of not only feeling, but the sensation of seeing, of smelling, of tasting, of hearing. So just having an awareness of all of our senses. So not only do we get pleasure from intimacy with others, but we can get pleasure from food, from eating really delicious food, from taking a warm bath and just being able to release all that tension physically. From hearing some of our favorite music. I mean, I know there are certain songs, like the song that I play for Shavasana at least once a week, which is The Queen of All Everything by Ott, that gives me so much pleasure. I can't even, like, that song, oh, I love it so much. So just being able to find this pleasure and joy, but also, again, any emotion with your sensations. So being able to have an association of emotion with sensation. So, just having that connectedness. So as I said about the petals, so in our first chakra we had the 4 petals, so those 4 universal lessons that we have to overcome in order to find alignment. In this one, in our sacral, we have 6, and because I was using this, and I still am going to use this to show you something else, but because I didn't learn about these petals until my last time in Thailand, and I painted this before that, this doesn't show the petals, so I'm going to use my handy dandy yoga towel to show you instead. Boom! Okay. So, as you can see, we have 4 petals on our root chakra, Muladhara, and then making our way up, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 petals, so that means we have 6 lessons or challenges that the universe will give us that we need to overcome in order to find alignment in this chakra. And you'll notice as we move through these chakras that the number of petals just keeps going up, and that is just a test, to test you, to test your patience, and to let you know that this journey, this spiritual journey, this path to finding enlightenment is not an easy one. It will be full of challenges, but the beauty of it is as you are growing, as you are changing, you're becoming more open, you're becoming more aligned, you will be able to deal with those challenges in such a better way, in such a healthier way, which I don't want to talk too much about it yet because we're not quite up to those chakras yet, but just a little tidbit on that. So you've got 6 petals on your sacral chakra. And another thing that I did paint a couple years ago was with the sacral chakra, with your Swadhisthana, there's an association with the moon, because if you remember, our moon, our Ida, is associated with feelings and emotions. So I have all of the phases of the moon, just how you have all the phases of your emotions. You've got the joy, you've got those high highs, and then you can have the sadness and the low lows. And just knowing that it is a constant flux. And that's another part of this chakra, is accepting that. Not having to always be happy, not always having to have pleasure, but to accept that it's just a part of it. So signs that you may have something wrong with your sacral chakra, according to Hatha Yoga, are if you find yourself having depression really often, eating disorders, alcohol and drug dependency, and addiction is a part of this, because it has to do with your emotions and your sense of security. So it's going off of the base chakra. We're making our way up, so each one, as we make our way up, includes the things from the other one, if that makes sense, because they're all connected. So yeah, lower back pain and issues with your sexual organs, that has to do with this chakra. And an inability to be social or intimate also has to do with this chakra. And the recommended ways to work on that, same thing as I said in the last one, is to wear the color orange and visualize that color orange, that pleasure, that joy, that happiness, that warmth when you are wearing it. To use orange essential oils, one of my favorites is tangerine oil or kumquat. Oh, kumquat's a really, really nice one. It's super fruity, obviously, and really like waking you up. So that's a nice one to use. Using orange stones in your meditation practice, or putting them by your bedside if you're needing that kind of alignment. Eating orange foods and drinking orange drinks, like some teas. So other ways are to take some hot aromatic baths, like with orange oils in the water. That's really nice. Massage is really nice. And just doing different things that connect you to that sensation. So massage would be really good. Marma therapy, yoga, obviously. Okay, so that about sums it up for the sacral and the base chakra. You're moving on your way up, your Muladhara and then your Svadhisthana. So remember, the Muladhara is at the base of your spine, at your coccyx, and then making your way up, because we're saying our spine is front and back together. Your sacral chakra is located right underneath your navel, or right on your navel, depending on how long your torso is. And yeah, that will about cover our first two chakras. Stay tuned for our next theory class, and we will go over the next two. If you guys have any questions, please have them ready. We are definitely going to have a discussion, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to go get ready to do our live class tonight, but I love you guys so much. I'm so thankful for all of you and for this opportunity. I know I say it a lot, but I think it's important for you to know how much gratitude I have for each and every one of you for helping support me in my dream of making this my life. So, okay, that's enough. Thank you guys. Namaste, love and light.